Well, the family of Mitt Romney's alleged target in this high school prank that's been talked about is now speaking out against these accusations. The Washington Post reported that a group of boys held down a boy in his dorm room while Mitt Romney cut his long bleach blonde hair. All of this allegedly went down nearly 50 years ago, and the family of the alleged victim has some problems with the accuracy of the story. They have said that the portrayal of John is factually incorrect and that we are aggrieved that he would be used to further a political agenda, though they will not say which part of the story is inaccurate. Governor Romney, for his part, says that he doesn't remember this incident.
I had no idea what that individual's sexual orientation might be. Going back to the 1960s, that wasn't something that we all discussed or considered. So that's simply just not accurate. I don't recall the incident myself, but I've seen the reports and not going to argue with that. There's no question but that I did some stupid things when I was in high school. And obviously, if I hurt anyone by virtue of that, I would be very sorry for it and apologize for it.
Marjorie Clifton is a former consultant to President Obama's campaign. She's also the principal of Clifton Consulting. And Justin Sayfie is a former Jeb Bush spokesman. He's also the publisher of SayfieReview.com. Welcome to both of you. You know, a lot of questions here. I mean, obviously, you know, it was brought up, you know, as a character issue, which comes up from time to time in these campaigns. But does it matter? Should it matter, Marjorie? And how is this being used politically?
Well, this happens in every political election, and we're seeing it again with Romney. And I would say this is the downside of political campaigning. I feel like, you know, what if teenagers ran the White House, this would be a relevant conversation. But in the same way, the Republicans went after Obama. Did he smoke pot? And, you know, did he do drugs when he was in high school or college? We're going after Romney for giving a kid a haircut. This is the same thing we see from Republicans and Democrats every election season. But it's really not relevant. If this was a repeated pattern of behavior, then this is something we could be concerned about. But they're grown-ups now, and those are the ones that run the White House.
You know, it's interesting. The suggestion from this story was that this young boy was targeted because, you know, they thought he might be gay. And that's what Mitt Romney was addressing in that soundbite. He said, you know, we didn't talk about those things. We didn't, you know, that was not part of any equation in his recollection of any of it. You know, I mean, what about the timing on all of this, as it comes right after the president comes out and says that he believes that same-sex marriage is okay? Justin?
Well, you do have to wonder about the timing, and I think it's interesting that it is coming at the same time that the president announced his change of position on same-sex marriage. But look, this is something that happened 45 years ago. The family is now apparently disputing part of the story. They won't say what part they're disputing. Governor Romney doesn't remember it happening. And to me, it just is a signal. It's a message to Republicans that the traditional news media, this was a story that generated from the Washington Post. It's a message to Republicans that the campaign to destroy Mitt Romney has now begun. And Republicans should be ready for that because they're going to throw out all the stops. It reminds me of what Dan Rather did to President George W. Bush with the Air National Guard story that turned out to be false as well. Out to be false. So I think it reminds me of that quite a bit.
What about that point that Justin just brought up? When we take a look at this, you know, this morning, Eric Erickson said that it's all a part of a campaign to brand Mitt Romney as a vicious, thoughtless, out-of-touch guy. Does it feed into that narrative, Marjorie, do you think?
Well, again, I don't think this is indicative of a particular bent with the media because we've seen them do this to Democrats as well. You know, you've got to look at with Obama, they accused that he went to a madrasa for high school. They questioned his birth certificate. We've seen this on both sides of the aisle. And frankly, we saw Karl Rove go after John McCain claiming he had an illegitimate child, which was his adopted Bangladeshi child, which was really horrific. So I hate to see it when Democrats go after Democrats, Republicans go after Republicans. But again, it's the nature of the campaigning season. And again, is it relevant? No, because we don't have teenagers running the White House.
Justin, does it go away? Does this issue linger? Do we hear about this, you know, down the road in this campaign? Or did Mitt Romney do what he needed to do yesterday to say, I don't remember it. If I did anything that hurt anyone, I do apologize?
I think he did. I think Governor Romney did the right thing. I hope we don't hear anything more about it. Why is that? Because it's really insulting to the problems that we have in this country when almost 25 million Americans are unemployed or underemployed. Our unemployment rate is over 8%. You mentioned earlier that our national debt that our children are going to have to pay back is over $15 trillion. There's unrest in the Middle East. Europe's monetary union is in question right now. So with all these problems that we have, those are the issues that I hope we hear about in the coming months of the presidential campaign.
All right, Marjorie, thank you very much. Justin, good to talk to you both. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.